Hello, my name is Dylan Davis, and this is my Unit 2 Mental Model Project. My themes are: how does every living part of an organism work to maintain homeostasis? My second theme is: how does the structure of different body parts, organs, and systems allow those things to carry out their specific functions? My first target was explain the functions of the integumentary system. The integumentary system does many things. It protects, it allows sensation, it recognizes temperature and regulates it. It also excretes sweat to control body temperature. It stores lipids in fat cells, and then it also has a water resistance that is rich in keratin and makes the skin waterproof. This goes hand in hand with the layers of the skin, the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis, that also regulates body temperature and creates new skin cells that are regenerating and dying at the same time while your body is maintaining homeostasis. My second target is describe the tissue layers found in the skin. As I was just talking about, the layers of the skin are the epidermis, the dermis, and the hypodermis. The epidermis is the outermost layer and protects the layers below it from foreign substances, like anything trying to come in to damage the muscles and nerves in our dermis. There is 5 main layers of the epidermis. There's the corneum, there's the lucidium, there's the granulum, there's the spinosum, and the basal. The basal is the lowest of the 5 layers, and it is where new skin cells are made and where they start their journey to go up the layers and slowly die to become what we see on our hands and then eventually shed off of us. This relates back to the themes because in order for it to in order for our body to maintain homeostasis, it needs to regulate body temperature through sweat and chills. It needs to protect our nerves and our pressure receptors from bacteria and anything outside that is coming in trying to damage our body. And this allows the structure of different body parts to work hand in hand with other systems of the body to maintain homeostasis. My third target is explain how skin structure varies throughout the body to accommodate function. There is thick skin found on the palms of hands and soles of feet. This has a thicker epidermis and especially the stratum corneum, which is the highest layer because on your on your feet and your hands, there's a lot of sensory receptors, and it needs cushion to be able to last long, because your feet are always on the ground and your hands are always touching something. So it is shedding a lot of skin, so it needs more dead cells for it to maintain that cushion. Thin skin covers the rest of the body because it doesn't take as much pressure or impact throughout the day from walking or touching things. And so that has a thinner epidermis and not as thick of a stratum lucidum. It contains hair, sebaceous glands, and sweat glands, which compared to thick skin, it does not have any sweat glands or hair on it. Skin on joints and flexure substances, they have more elastic fibers, which means that it allows them to stretch more, because like our elbows and fingers, they are always bending and moving, which means that it needs to be able to stretch for our body to be able to function and move freely. The fourth one is facial skin. The facial skin has a lot of sebaceous glands, which has more oil production, and this is a big reason why that people get a lot of acne, because in your face, that is where a lot of oil or sweat glands are, and oil that gets into those sweat glands creates acne. And it has a more thin and gentle dermis and epidermis, and it also allows facial movements with elastic fibers and expression, which means it is also very sensitive. That is why we have our mouth and our nose and our eyes and our ears to be able to use our senses. My next target is explain the process of regulation hematopoiesis. The process of blood cell formation happens in the red bone marrow. The stem cells transform into red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets, and this is controlled by genetics, hormones, and other growth factors. If you have less genetics in this type of area, you'll have less red blood cells, white blood cells, and platelets. Other stimulating factors are feedback mechanisms that maintain blood cell levels. So if you have bad blood cell levels, then it means that the feedback mechanisms aren't working as well. My next target is identify structure locations of the 4 long bones. Long bones are more thin, and the main parts are the shaft or the diaphysis, and it has 2 ends, the epiphyses, and they are mostly made up of compact bone with a marrow cavity in the middle. The short bones are cube-shaped and are fairly the same in length and thickness, and are mostly made up of spongy bone. And the locations are the carpals and the tarsals. The flat bones are mostly curved and thin and are made up of parallel layers of compact bone with spongy bone in the middle. And it is located in the skull, the sternum, the ribs, and the scapulae. Irregular bones are different bones that are different compared to all the other types of bones. These are located in the vertebrae, the pelvic bones, and some facial bones. My last target is the functions of the skeletal system. The skeletal system is important for many reasons, but the four main reasons of it are support, movement, blood cell production, and hormone regulation. Hormone regulation has to do with growth plates and how large your bones grow to, and this depends how tall you are and how much you weigh, and it can impact the movement part and the support part because different genetics build different bones differently. And then movement of the skeletal system, it is basically the spinal cord sending signals from your brain to be able to move your body. And if you damage your spinal cord, that is oftentimes how people get paralyzed because you cannot get signals from your spinal cord to your leg in order to move them. What I learned from this unit was that there are skin cells being born every second, and I also learned that we are shedding skin all the time. And when I learned that the top of my skin is mostly dead cells, I was wondering, and I felt my skin, and it feels really smooth, which is very, very interesting.